Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, a fascinating show with Geoff Whaling. He's the chair of the National Hemp Association, and it will surprise you. He's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
The new year is bringing new ways to win big during the $175,000 Winter Wonderland giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 in cash every week and a top prize of $20,000 in cash during the grand finale drawing. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we are pleased to welcome to the program for the first time Geoff Whaling. He is chair of the National Hemp Association. It is a pleasure to have you on the program, sir.
Well, and so glad that we were able to connect and appreciate the opportunity given to us.
Right, so let's start out with what is the National Hemp Association and what do you do?
There are days I wonder. So NHA is the longest grassroots advocacy based in DC for hemp. We focused initially in advancing legislation that would begin the return of hemp as an agricultural commodity. And that started way back in 2013. And since then, we have had a seat at the table at the 2018 Farm Bill, the 2023 Farm Bill, and just last week, the 2026 Farm Bill.
All right, and so explain for those that don't know, because we have been discussing marijuana on this program for over 20 years, and beyond that in my career for even longer. And here in Nevada, we have legalized marijuana, both medical and recreational, but with lots of rules. What is the difference, for those that don't know, between marijuana and hemp?
Excellent question. And if you'll bear with me, hemp comes from the cannabis family, as does marijuana. But, like dogs, there are many varieties and species that are out there. Hemp is more known as industrial hemp. That is a true agricultural commodity that should be planted in a field on a rotational basis, just like any other commodity, corn, soy. And it is a feed and food stock first and foremost. But then there are other species of hemp that can be used for wellness purposes. Many of your viewers may be aware of or have seen cannabinoids or CBD products. Those products are full extracts from the hemp plant, although none of those products that are in the marketplace today have been regulated by the FDA, so they are technically illegal.
All right. So, but there are hemp products that are sold that do contain some. I'm not sure if the right term here is cannabinoids, but are sold in drinks across the south of the United States. Is that not correct?
There are products that are being sold across the United States and into American territories. And a lot of those products have been challenging for states. They are being produced under the USDA or state hemp permits. But as this industry has evolved, following the passage of the 2018 Farm Bill, because there is no infrastructure in place for farmers to adopt hemp as a rotational commodity. It is a very tough crop to grow. It can grow as high as 20 feet in 90 days. And, we just don't, because it's been prohibited for the last 95 years, we don't have the infrastructure of equipment and others that can process this. But believe it or not only in Nevada, but across this country, hemp was one of the principal commodities used in our nation for food, for paper. Most people would know it as a product used to make rope. But the products that are out there today that are Delta 8, Delta 9, beverages that have those THC products in them, they have to be very cautious because some of them are naturally occurring, which is legal under federal law. But any product that has been lab derived or has been cultivated in a laboratory to produce THC, those are what I call synthetic lab derived products, and they are not legal under the definition of the 2018 Farm Bill. So, that old adage of buyer beware, until we figure this out, is given to you and to your viewers.
All right. So bottom line though is that there are beverages being sold in parts of the country where it's legal that contain and you were saying Delta 8 and 9. I presume that's the substance that would allow somebody to consume this product and be able to get some kind of high from it. Is that correct?
Yes, and so those would be the intoxicating cannabinoids. Inside the hemp plant, as I talked earlier about there being, very many varietals. Inside each of those varieties, they could have upwards of 150 plus minor cannabinoids. And those minor cannabinoids, we have yet to discover the purpose of all of them. If your viewers are not aware, we all as human beings have something called an endocannabinoid system. That endocannabinoid system was discovered by Raphael Mechoulam, a researcher out of Israel, who is really kind of the father of the cannabinoid and cannabis space. He left us last year, but certainly his mark is and fingerprints are everywhere. But the purpose of the endocannabinoid system in our human body is to manage inflammation. And certainly, when I first got involved in this industry, it was to help those families who had children who had Dravet syndrome or severe epilepsy, who were finding that by kickstarting, reintroducing cannabinoids into their family loved one system, that their endocannabinoid system was kickstarted and their neuropathy, the inflammation in it kind of was relieved and allowed the messaging from their brain to their body to improve. That is all anecdotal. There's not been research proven out on this, but certainly what has come over time is that companies like GW Pharmaceutical have applied to the FDA, have gone through a clinical trial, have taken some minor cannabinoids, and have then synthetically replicated them so that they could bring a pharmaceutical grade CBD cannabinoid product to the marketplace called Epidiolex. So that research has been done, but other than that product being approved by the FDA as a pharmaceutical grade drug, these other products that are out in the marketplace are unproven. Their research has not been undertaken, and certainly they do not fit the definition of the 2018 Farm Bill, which deferred all regulatory authority to the FDA. And certainly, as someone who comes from the world of government, that's what we expect our government to do for us, is to ensure that the products that we put on or in our bodies are safe.
Okay.
And the FDA has not yet weighed in on cannabinoids yet.
Okay, and is part of that because it was until recently it was a Schedule 1 drug?
So cannabis is a Schedule 1 drug.
Well, it was. It's just that just changed because of
Well, it
President
did.
Trump.
I was just in the White House last week, and certainly one of the things that is misunderstood by the public is that the president, in all good intentions, advanced the idea and the request of his Department of Justice and the DEA working with the FDA to reschedule cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, which would allow for the much needed research to be done on cannabis. That has not been implemented yet. The Biden administration tried and failed miserably, but President Trump has committed to those that supported him during the campaign that he would undertake to do so. It is a lengthy process, and it's not in total control of Congress or the president to reschedule something, because all of those agencies I spoke of, they will all weigh in as to whether or not they want to see this done sooner rather than later. And since there is not a solid appetite to change legislation in either the Senate or the House specifically related to cannabis, I think you'll see that a lot of the federal agencies will slow walk the president's executive order.
Wow, that is a stunning statement there, and
But true.
yes, certainly one that nobody in Nevada, to my knowledge, has been aware of, because there has been rejoicing within the cannabis community, certainly beyond the CBD community, that finally research will be able to take place. And there are other issues that are equally, if in some cases not more important. For example, banking, where at this point in time, the marijuana companies have to take bags of cash to pay taxes and payroll and all the rest of this stuff, because the banks that are federally chartered are not able to do business. Is that the same problem that the Hemp Association has?
Well, certainly the hemp industry is in a little bit of a different situation because we were successful in the 2018 Farm Bill of removing hemp from the definition, and moved it from completely from the Controlled Substances Act. So it would have been under class 1 drug delineation, but we were successful in having that removed entirely from the Controlled Substances Act in the 2018 Farm Bill. So hemp is not. However, because hemp is part of the cannabis family, the banking issues remain prevalent for our industry. And I've worked with the American Bankers Association in trying to educate their members. But when I'm speaking to the CEOs of some of the largest banks in America, their reality is something that we need to accept and to address. And that is that although they might adopt a policy, and their guidance doesn't come from USDA, their guidance comes from Treasury, and we've had that guidance issued. It's available publicly. that states and gives guidance to the banking industry, but it states that hemp has been removed from the Controlled Substances Act. The problem with the implementation of this from a banking perspective is that our industry and others are asking a local teller in a regional bank or a local bank to decide whether or not the person standing in front of them is operating in the legal hemp space or the non-federal marijuana space. And the answer is that to that is that it's a very difficult position to put the banks in. And since they are liable for the actions of their employees, they do not want to get into the crosshairs of the Treasury Department by making a mistake like that.
That is just unbelievable. I mean, what a shining example of the ineptitude of federal bureaucracy, that the bureaucracy can thwart the efforts of the President of the United States in being able to take something that just from a bottom line research level should be done. I mean, when we go back to the beginnings, and I may be confusing hemp and marijuana here, but when you go back to the whole start of this under the Nixon administration, I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. 50 plus years ago, this has been going on. This is nuts.
Well, and as you might know, Sam, I'm a Canadian, and I was part of the team that helped build the largest cannabis and hemp company on the planet, Canopy Growth. And I became the president of the operations in the United States. And although we were looking to invest $50 to $100 million of our own money, we were the first publicly traded cannabis company on the New York Stock Exchange because we were based in Canada. But when we were looking at just investing monies into building out industrial hemp campuses, which I think is what is needed to really kind of kickstart this industry as a farming manufacturing commodity. Even the monies that we were proposing to use were questioned as to whether or not it was stated money because we came from a cannabis company, marijuana company. And, I have seen this, unfold over the 10 years that I've been involved with the National Hemp Association, 8 years as its chairman, that this is not as, straightforward an issue as most people would think it is. There are so many issues that have to be addressed because of the Nixon administration and administrations before that on their war on drugs. States and others have, done not just one simple move on legislation, but multiple moves in state legislations to ensure that products like hemp and marijuana would never come back to the forefront, because you would have to end up unwinding 5, 10, 20, 50 pieces of legislation where they drilled down to make sure that this was cemented forever as a narcotic.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back much more. What a fascinating topic with Geoff Whaling, chair of the National Hemp Association, after this time out. As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Geoff Whaling. He's the chair of the National Hemp Association. You're blowing my mind here with some of the things that you've said so far. Mitch McConnell was very much involved, I understand, with the writing of these farm bills. How come, as majority/minority leader, he was not able to cut through the morass here? I mean, Harry Reid certainly had a reputation for getting stuff done. How come Mitch McConnell wasn't able to free this up? Because the growers are a large part of his territory.
Well, and for your viewers and those listening in, I joined with Mitch McConnell way back in 2013 on this effort. And, although I was helping families advancing the return of cannabinoids, or at least access to cannabinoids, what we realized is that although the Coalition for Access Now, which Paige Figge, the mother of Charlotte, and I formed, and had worked towards passing state legislation allowing families like Paige's to have cannabinoids in their possession, we realized that state legislation was for naught, because no one was growing cannabinoids in those states. And it still required families who were seeking access to go to Colorado and other places and cross federal state lines. But I had heard that Senator McConnell was hearing from farmers in Kentucky. Kentucky, like Pennsylvania, were two of the largest growers of hemp historically. And he had been approached by a number of tobacco farmers who were losing their federal subsidies under the 2014 Farm Bill. They were looking for his support to once again grow a commodity that their grandparents or great-grandparents grew, and that was hemp.
All right,
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we have to take another quick break here, and then we'll be right back with more.
Absolutely.
After this timeout.
The points are flying out the door during the Point Party Palooza giveaways going on now at the Carson Valley Inn. Up to 1 million points given away each drawing night. And over 1 million in points guaranteed during the grand prize point explosion. Get in on the action at the Carson Valley Inn.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
They call him high-flying Aaron Ford. In just 1 year, Aaron Ford spent 137 days out of Nevada, almost 5 months. While Nevadans were here, working, raising families, dealing with everyday problems, Ford was racking up frequent flyer miles, traveling to France, Singapore, Taiwan, and the Yucatan. Nevada doesn't need a globe-trotting politician. We need an attorney general who shows up. High-flying Aaron Ford. If he won't show up for this job, why promote him to governor?
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Geoff Whaling. He's the chair of the National Hemp Association. This conversation has gone in directions I did not anticipate. It just seems to me that what Congress has done with all of this melange of different rulings is just open the door wider and wider for the black market, for both marijuana and hemp.
Well, I think from an outsider's perspective, yes. I would like to put a lot of that blame on my industry. I think that once Senator McConnell was able to manage the passage of the 2018 Farm Bill, which we thought was going to, remove hemp from the Controlled Substances Act and certainly open the door for industrial hemp to be farmed, through which cannabinoids would become available. We saw the industry take off and all of these, what I call bad actors, coming up with all of these intoxicating products and other products and bringing them to the marketplace without FDA regulations. And it created a multi-billion-dollar opportunity, which was never the intent of the original 2018 Farm Bill. There are pathways for those products to be brought to the marketplace legally, comfortably. We know that Delta 8 products and intoxicating low-dose beverages should go through what alcohol goes through TTB, and it would generate excise tax for the federal government. But because of all of the weight and association around THC, which is more associated with marijuana, it is difficult for this Congress and many Congresses to wrap their head around passing legislation on hemp. This discussion continues.
And I'd like to continue this discussion with you on another day, but thank you for doing this. What an informative program, and we will check back with you, sir. Thank you.
Happy to help.
And we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
It happens. And when it does, there's UMC Quick Care.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com. And our archive goes back to 2002. So you can look at all kinds of historic interviews right here on Nevada Newsmakers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next broadcast.